Hi guys, Big Snowballer here, and today I'll be reviewing the Costco Kirkland Signature 4-piece golf ball that just went on sale roughly last week, so just the first week of October. I got these on Friday. Now the video I'm showing you here is just going to be, just random B-roll. I'm going to keep looping this thing while I talk through this review. So first of all, who I am, I'm just a person who plays golf. I'm on a 22 handicap, so I'm not a pro or even not even that good. I've only been playing for about a year, but I do play every single day, just about. And I'm a complete golf nut. I love reviews and love equipment. I'm really into it. So you're going to have to factor some of the things that I say with the fact that a high-end golf ball isn't something that I always play with. I don't really care between golf balls. So in one respect, I am not biased towards golf balls, and on the other, potentially I don't have the same sorts of requirements that other people have around golf balls. So that being said, yesterday was the first day that I was able to try these out on the course in tense conditions, and it was a tournament. I'm part of a traveling league, and suffice to say, at the end of the day, I was equal first place. So I'm very happy with the balls. So maybe there's a little bit of bias in this review in that I'm actually very happy. So I was very pleased with it throughout the day. It's certainly no cure. This is not a magic golf ball, so it's not going to do anything that if you've got a slice, you're going to slice it. For me, my area of mistakes are hooks, and I got up onto the first tee. I put this brand new ball down. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens here. And then I just do something funky on my backswing, and then boom, OB. So that's what happened to the first one of these balls. Subsequent tee off, I used a Chrome Soft, and I put that one into the woods to the left as well. So this isn't a magic wand, and no ball is. I already know that. So don't expect too much. But so the first things first, what are these golf balls to be compared to? Now, from the price, effectively $15 for a dozen, there's really not much in that range. You're looking at Wilson Smart Cores or Wilson Titaniums, and those are terrible balls. Even me, and in my inexperience in the first month, I realized those things were just straight up rocks. The only other thing that is in that similar price range is the Nike Mojos. They're $20 for a double dozen. Those are very low price, and I think that's a reasonably playable ball. Now, it doesn't have the greenside spin and control and sort of the friction of a urethane cover. Even I can visually see that. I'm still happy to play with a Nike Mojo because the feel is still soft enough and not unusual or anything like that. So I'm still, for the most part, very happy to play with a Nike Mojo. But I know that other players will see the difference between a premium ball and something like a Nike Mojo, and they'll be like, I need that difference. For me, I can see the difference, but my level of game around the greens isn't at the level where I can actually use that difference significantly. I've still got a lot to work on my short game to actually use the difference that I can visually see between different golf balls. Now, this is a 4-piece golf ball. The cover is significantly frictiony. There's a lot of friction. So if I try rub the cover between my fingers, it's not a scientific test. Clearly not. But it's definitely something that I would consider as probably one of the grippier balls that I can test just between my fingers. And what I visually observed yesterday on the course was that it would hold greens relatively well, that nothing really shot through or anything like that. Nothing lacked the spin that needed to be able to stop the ball where I needed it to. And for reference, I'm in America, so I'm playing courses where it's basically everything's in the air and you really need it to stop. So I didn't see any problem there. The brand is, doing a little bit of internet sleuthing, since these are made in Korea. And then someone saw on some manufacturer sheets from the PGA, the approval sheet. It's by a company called Nassau in South Korea, and they make premium balls. And this appears to be one of their 4-piece balls, which retails somewhere in the order of $50. And so that is a significant discount. You're going from $50 a box or maybe $40 a box. Kind of hard to tell what a street price would be, considering Nassau doesn't seem to sell here in America. But it's basically nothing. There's nothing really to compare these balls to if you're talking about value. If you could probably drop down to the Nike Mojos, but Nike aren't even making golf balls anymore, as far as I know. Probably still a lot of stock around for maybe another couple of years, but I wouldn't bet that you'd be able to get Nike golf balls for the next 2 years. So what's going to be your go-to? I'd say this is really next up on the list. And at a 4-piece golf ball, these should be comparable in terms of technology, comparable to something like a Chrome Soft, a premium ball. Visually, there's nothing special happening on the cover. The fonts used are a little bit small for my liking. Just visually, and this is not going to affect the ball flight, right? But just visually, the fonts is relatively small. It would be nice if the Kirkland signature logo was just a little bigger, I think. Visually, the dimple pattern is actually built in 2 hemispheres, so you can see a visible line through the ball. That being said, that line is aligned with the putting line that is on the ball, so I appreciate that. If they were off center, I'd be concerned that you're putting across some sort of natural separation in the ball. But since it's actually on the line, I could almost say that it feels like an advantage. I'm putting along a flat line on the actual golf ball, meaning maybe it's got more surface interaction between the golf ball and the green. Now, these are psychological things. I don't think either would affect the actual roll of the ball, but it's funny what different golfers are interested in. So in terms of looks, it's it looks visually like a small ball to me, because I'm not too sure why. I think it's the dimple pattern. It strikes me as being a smaller ball. It feels more dense. Now, of course, I've weighed these things and I've measured them, and these are PGA certified for play, so there is no difference in terms of weight and size. But just visually, sort of like how the Chrome Soft, they play that such that those soccer ball sort of patches make the ball look bigger. So in terms of the cover, after about a few holes of play, you can already see some scuff marks, and the cover does seem relatively soft. So I would question whether or not these golf balls are very durable. I could already sort of like potentially dig into some of the scuffs just with my fingernails and, potentially take a little bit of a splint out. But I would continue to keep an eye on durability. Maybe you find it's perfectly fine. I think it's perfectly fine because I'm still losing 1 or 2 balls around. And at that rate, looking at this golf ball that I played for at least the last 7 holes, doesn't seem to visually be any serious issues. Feel off the driver. One, in terms of flight, it's not going to cure, anything that you have problems with. So I was able to hook this thing into OB territory, just the same as I hooked the Chrome Soft into OB territory. So it's not going to do anything special for you, but the feel off the driver is similar to the other golf balls I use, which, if possible, are Chrome Softs or B330 Bridgestones or E6s, something like that. So nothing special to report off driver. Off wedges and irons, I'd say that they felt nice. There was no sort of, clickiness to it. I felt a very nice, solid impulse, but I would call it impulse and not sort of like a crack or something like that. Off wedges, I found it to feel like I hate to use the word because it's such a buzzword and it's the only thing people are looking for now. I would say it's quote unquote soft, where it feels like there's good contact coming through on the wedges, that it feels like there's contact time, and it's coming in contact enough to put spin on the ball. Feel off the putter. Now, I had to line up quite a lot of different balls to try and see which ball feels most similar to this Kirkland one off a putter, and I use a bladed putter off an Anza 2 style putter. The one I'm showing here in the video is just a mallet style. I just keep for change of feel, but judging by feel off an Anza style bladed putter, I'd say that it is most comparable to a B330. It's a very soft impulse and a pop. So I found these to have a softer feel than, say, Titleist Pro V1s. Certainly, and Pro V1s to me are much softer than the Nike Reason Blacks, but the B330 feels softer off the putter to me. Now, I tried to look these up in compression ratios and cover hardness ratings and PGA stuff, and I couldn't see any numbers that aligned with how it felt off the putter face. So if you want to tell me I'm full of shit, you go ahead. It's probably true, probably accurate. This is just what I feel. So I found these most comparable to a B330 in terms of that the impulse is relatively soft off the face, but there definitely was a sort of an impulse at the end. So it was soft, but with a little bit of a pop. And all day long yesterday, I was lag putting so well. I mean, it was really quite ridiculous how well I was putting yesterday, where my lag putts, most of them were within 1.5 feet. And I'm being quite conservative there. Most were actually under 1 foot. So my lag putting was just unstoppable yesterday. Just the control and speed that I had yesterday was very, very good. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get great control out of this ball, that you'll be doing the same. I could have just been lucky. The greens must have just suited me, or I just had good positions on the green. Whatever it is, I was very happy with this ball, and I will definitely continue playing it. I don't really see any need to go to a different 3 or 4 piece ball, or downgrade to a 2-piece ball now that these things exist and at the price point at which they exist at. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'll try my best to answer them. I'm not a professional, so I don't have like a GC2 and I can measure wedge spin and that sort of thing. Or if you know of a more scientific test that I can conduct, like some sort of like friction test or something that is repeatable, that would be really great. I've got lots of different golf balls, so I could do the test across all of them, and I haven't really thought about what would actually be comparable to testing on grass. I really don't know. So that's that Kirkland signature golf ball. Thanks guys.